huge Cleveland win last night in Chicago against the White Sox. Came from behind a huge deficit in extra innings and ended up winning 12-9. The clip going around today, I played this for you before, is people thinking that on the TV side that Rick Manning dropped an S-bomb. Mm-hmm. But upon further inspection, that's not what happened.
Sheets coming in. Drops the ball! The Guardians will score first as Quan comes home. Into second base is Owen Miller.
Are you kidding me?
That's so crazy.
He says, "Are you kidding me?" as the guy refers to Sheets from the White Sox. And it made the rounds today as Hot Mike. Are we dripping from the ceiling?
No.
Like your roof at home?
No, and my roof isn't dripping. The styrofoam cup I'm drinking out of looked yellow on the bottom, so I picked it up to look and see if there was something on it, and there wasn't. But then when I put it down, the lighting is just weird and hitting it at a weird angle to make the bottom look all yellow and dirty.
Oh.
Optical illusion, I guess. Ever heard of it?
No. I think they were a jam band, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. They used to tour with Humphreys McGee.
Yep.
The Umph! There was a woman who poured... Now, again, this is in Florida, too, and I hate to beat a dead horse, but I do like these stories. This woman, this is in a trailer park in St. Pete, and this woman gets pinched because she was really mad that her neighbor's chicken had been pooping on her back patio. I wouldn't think it would be that big of a deal to go to the neighbor. I don't know if maybe these two had a pre-existing condition of some kind, you know. Maybe this was the last straw. I don't know. But the woman got picked up because she was mad that her neighbor's chicken was pooping on her back patio. So she retrieved a bucket of pee from her bathroom and doused the bird's owner.
She has
a bucket of pee.
So her toilet's broken?
Don't know. Again, so many gaps in the reporting here. I don't know. I need to know these things. Went inside, the neighbor said, got a bucket of pee from her bathroom. Already. Not like she peed into a bucket and then poured it over my head.
She had it.
Had a bucket of pee. Oh. Now, I wonder, was there like medical tape on the side?
No.
And it was written pee in blue Sharpie?
She knows where her pee bucket is.
Was it a bucket, like a legit bucket? Was like an orange Home Depot slop bucket? Was a little sand pail that your kids have at the beach?
Red with a yellow handle. That type of pail.
She threw it at the neighbor, called the cops. Sheriff's deputy said that the victim was wet when we arrived and smelled of urine.
How much asparagus do you eat?
Right. But listen, if you've got and we lived for many years in Ohio City, where all the hipsters had gotten it in their brains that having chickens would be a great idea. Of course, they invariably get sick of it because it's a lot of work. Mm-hmm. And then the city's overrun with chickens that have been let loose, right? It's just poor planning. But if your neighbor has...
I would say it's foul planning.
Bill Squire is going to be in Oklahoma City tomorrow night.
Bricktown Comedy Club.
Are you headlining?
No, I'm opening for Zarna Garg, who's a...
Gesundheit.
Yeah.
Pardon me? That's a person?
Yeah, she's a viral TikTok comedian, and my buddy Raj put the show together.
Her name is Zarna Garg?
Yeah, I think it's...
wow.
That's her... I don't know if that's her full real name, but that's what she goes by on social media.
Could her full name be Zarnifer Gog?
Perhaps.
Garg?
Gargarna Garg.
Gargarna Garg? Zarna Garg. Okay. So Zarna Garg with Bill Squire.
Yep. And Raj Suresh.
Raj. Something's telling me that the two of them are more similar than she and you are.
Well, me and her are both parents.
I can't. Oh, that's what it is. Yeah. So there's little Gargs running around?
Yeah.
Ah.
I think they're
gargoyles
now. Yeah.
Little Gargettes. All right. Anyway, This guy got pee spilled on him.
Bucket of pee.
Not even spilled. Thrown.
What would you do?
She goes inside. What would
Someone
I do?
threw pee at me? Oh, God.
I'm living in a mobile home park. So things haven't gone the way I hoped that they would. Right?
Right.
Either through my fault or through no fault of my own. I've got a chicken. Let's lay this out.
Which, free eggs.
Free eggs, ostensibly, yeah. But also, maybe it's not long for this earth. Maybe that's dinner in a couple of nights.
Okay.
So you get some eggs out of it. You got a few breakfasts, but then you're like, well, it's time for the big show.
You're so hungry that maybe you're feeling...
Don't. Peckish? Anyway, Alan, chicken crap is huge and nasty. I realize this. But to go inside and go, you know what? You did it to me for the last time, George. I'm getting the pee bucket. I don't know how well these two knew each other. I don't know if when he saw her turn tail and walk in, he knew what was coming. And then she just whipped it over the fence. But again, do they have fences in mobile home parks?
No. Not that I've seen. Not like blocking off your
right,
lot.
like your
plot.
Plot.
I had a friend. So you wonder how people get to this point, right? Because I'm like, who just has a pee bucket? And then I remember that one time I had a friend who had a pretty severe Coke problem.
Right.
And she called me up and she was like, hey.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah. Couldn't stop drinking it.
Yep,
She
case
was
a
like,
day.
my life is in shambles. I need you to come over and help me get some things together. So I came to her house and it was in shambles. Like the level of just, what's the word I'm looking for?
Disarray.
And it just unkept. She had not cleaned anything in weeks, months. It seemed like
she
the
must
fridge.
not been doing good Coke.
Well, here's the thing. That's what I was like. Doesn't it make you want to clean and get things done? But
not if you're drunk all the time while you're doing it too.
Fridge didn't work. So all the food in the fridge had spoiled. She was like, "Don't open my fridge." Pots and pans everywhere. And in her bathroom, I think her water had gotten shut off or something because she wasn't paying the bills. Jeez. She had like a bathroom bucket, and I was like, "Oh, that's how you get to that point." Because I was like, "This guy's just got a pee bucket," and I was like, "My friend had a pee bucket."
So like she waited for a long time to call anyone, and that anyone was you.
Yes.
And how did you get her back on her feet?
So I spent all day there. I called off work.
Spoiler: is she dead now?
She is not dead. No.
Is she rehabilitated?
As far as I know, she's clean from drugs. She still drinks though. But
is she named Gargavarner?
Yes.
What's her name?
Garnargavarg.
Varnagarg? Is her name Varnagarg? Zarnagarg.
Zarnagarg.
We spent the entire day cleaning her house, and no, her water couldn't have been shut off because we did the dishes that day. Did the dishes?
So she was just nasty by choice.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Naughty by nature.
Yuck.
So I think what it was she needed the bucket to like fill with water to put into the toilet.
Yeah,
but
so
then
the toilet was broken.
But then she got bored of that and just started peeing in the bucket or something. I don't know.
I can't.
It didn't seem like she spent a lot of time at home. So we like top to bottom cleaned her entire place. Went and bought her new groceries, like got her back on track, and we don't talk anymore. But
how long ago was this?
I was sober, so this was I think 2019. I think it was the summer of 2019.
You are such a good person.
Yeah. She was one of my drinking buddies. We would drink and do that kind of stuff together.
So was she sobbing when you're like,
yes.
I'm so disgusted with myself?
Yeah, well, it was a rock bottom moment for her.
Did she get clean?
She quit doing, as far as I know, she quit doing the drugs, but she does still drink.
So that's why you don't hang out anymore?
Well, not even that, but that was like there's a lot more to that story.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was a moment when she was like, I think she just needed a sober friend, and she needed somebody who had a past with her, you know?
Get the toilet working again?
Was her place like a Coke den?
No.
Okay.
It was just a mess. It was just like, honestly.
What constitutes a Coke den? Yeah. Multiple people?
Probably. Yeah. People sleeping on the ground. Or not sleeping.
Well, like back in the 80s, I always imagined a crack den as having like a nice wood paneling, you know, maybe
shag
some
carpet.
Yeah, some books, a couple of things, you know.
Few pipes.
Because otherwise, then it's just like it's
just a crack office.
It's a crack office, a crack house, you know.
Dens are more comfortable.
I think so.
Pillows on the ground for
recliner.
laying.
I couldn't help but think of Poundcake, by the way. SNL did a bit on Saturday with Benedict Cumberbatch for the reclining toilet. You see that bit?
I didn't see that.
The Kohler reclining toilet. I was like, oh, Poundcake. If this was real,
he'd be on
he would be saving his ducats to buy this tomorrow.
My legs don't go numb anymore.
Yeah. I've got $1,000 to give to you right now. It's the last chance today for you to go fund yourself, so listen closely and good luck.
The Buzzard wants you to go fund yourself and score $1,000. Enter the nationwide keyword WIN at WMMS.com. That's WIN. Enter it now at WMMS.com. And good luck from Buzzard Radio.
Alan, my dad got his nickname Puddin' when he was a baby because he ate chicken turds thinking they were pudding.
Gross.
Why would you eat more than one?
Yeah, that sounds like it happened on multiple occasions. Like they had to keep an eye on him.
Reminds me of, what was the movie with Matthew Perry and Chris Farley?
Almost Heroes?
Almost Heroes, when one of the guys is telling a story. He's like, I have this brother, and he ate, and I made some delicious plum pudding for him, and I put sheep poop in the pudding. And then my brother ate the pudding. And then he stopped telling the story, and they go, wait, tell him the best part. And he goes, oh, the best part, I don't have a brother. It was me.
Good writing. That's just good writing right there.
I ate the pudding. And they just can't stop laughing. They're like, that's the best story. Mm-hmm. Underrated movie.
That was his last one, yeah?
Yeah.
He died like mid filming?
Or
was it done?
I think it was done. But it was. I thought that was a funny movie. And it did not do well. But if you go back and watch it, pretty good.
Alan, a girl in my apartment building asked if I was a Cleveland Browns fan after noticing I was wearing a Browns hoodie. I live in Chicago now, so I'll get the question. I replied, no, I just shop there. A nod to our own Bill Squire.
There it is.
And his affinity for NASA clothing. Mm-hmm. Oh, I liked this. After going on and on and on and on with all kinds of nonsense about how the 2020 election was stolen, One America News Network. You ever heard of OAN?
Oh, yeah.
This is like for people who think that Fox News is too liberal. They got their asses sued because they were on the air saying, saying that election workers had engaged in widespread voter fraud, right? No instances of voter fraud, as people know, but these channels were running with this because that was how they kind of, would breadcrumb the audience. And these two people sued OAN, and they won. And so OAN has to, by law, as part of this settlement, run a 30-second report admitting that there was no voter fraud. And so they're trying to shove this thing in where, hopefully nobody will pay attention to it. Both of the election workers still have a pending case against Rudy Giuliani because he was part of all that nonsense, too.
Georgia officials have concluded that there was no widespread voter fraud by election workers who counted ballots at the State Farm Arena in November 2020. The results of this investigation indicate that Ruby Freeman and Wandrea Shea Moss did not engage in ballot fraud or criminal misconduct while working at State Farm Arena on election night. A legal matter with this network and the two election workers has been resolved to the mutual satisfaction of the parties through a fair and reasonable settlement.
This network. Oh, man, that's great. Hey, all that stuff we were telling. Not like that audience cares, by the way. They'd be like, yeah, they made him say that.
Right, that's just part of the Illuminati.
Propaganda.
Part of the Illuminati. Listen, when you're too crazy for Alex Jones, by the way, has finally had it with QAnon.
No.
Although, I'll tell you what, though, he's pretty slick, right? Because his thing now is, because when you're just making things up on the fly, you can always pivot. His thing is he hates QAnon because, of course, it got taken over by the feds. That's why he doesn't like it.
Yeah.
But a guy called his show about QAnon, and he flipped out.
It's okay. You understand that we lost the country because of Q.
Yes, sir.
And I have to put up with the Q people all over the place. And I'm tired of it. So I'm not mad at you, but you hit a button here. And the damn Q people were the ones that manipulated some people to go into the damn Capitol and worked with the feds. Q is the worst people on earth at the top. Q is the New World Order. Q is a psyop to lead us around by our noses.
Right, that's what it is, to lead us around by our noses.
A psyop? What's a psyop?
Psychological operation. He loves the phrase, it's a psyop.
I've never heard
It's a false flag. God.
He throws that one around all the time.
Dude, I'm telling
QAnon
you.
got taken. See, what actually happened, and I love this too, is there's a lot of people online pretending to be QAnon, and then they spread all this anti-Republican rhetoric, and it basically like flattened GOP control over QAnon, because obviously you can convince people of anything if they think that you're one of them. And so there were all these people trolling on like message boards and things like that saying, yeah, I'm a lifelong QAnon and the Republicans. So now Alex Jones is pivoting from that.
I already know your answer before I ask this question to pretty much everybody. It's going to be a 50-50 split. Do you ever get worried that you could get wrapped up in something like that?
No.
Cody?
Maybe.
See? That's exactly how I knew that was going to go. Because I hear about those types of things, and I'm like...
Wait, you think you could?
I'm telling you, man, if I had enough time on my hands, like if I lost this job and for some reason couldn't do stand-up anymore, and I'm
so that's all it takes is boredom?
Well, that's what
to
I think
melt
a lot of these...
your mind?
I think that's what a lot of these people have, is they're bored, so they're online, looking stuff up, doing research, doing whatever, finding like-minded people.
You could just as easily read some books.
One at a time, one little nugget at a time, you start to believe these things.
Right,
and then you end up going off the deep end.
Things start confirming your beliefs.
But this
like
goes...
you
got
find
nothing
out.
else going on.
But this goes back to people saying, I did my research, and all they're talking about is Facebook.
Right.
That's not research.
But that's...
Talking to
listen,
other dummies is not research.
But those people are confirming these little nuggets, right? So I have no other contact with regular people. I don't talk to anybody anymore. This is I'm blackballed, whatever it is. And so this is your life, and this is what you do.
But
or
you've
you're a
also
stay-at-home
made
mom or
it.
something.
You've made it your life.
Yeah, because you don't have anything else. Those
There's
people who lose
always
everything.
100 other things. There are a
But
lot.
you feel a sense of community.
There
and
are
you
a
feel
lot of-
like a part of something.
There are a lot of Republican conservative voters who are not into QAnon.
I'm not talking about Republicans or conservatives. I'm talking about these crazy Alex
Well, those are all
Jones
Republicans and conservatives. There aren't Democrats that are into
conspiracy.
QAnon. Those are all right-wing nut jobs.
Yeah, I'm not.
I could see it happening.
Well, for you, yeah.
I gotta
you're
stay
gullible.
away from. I am. I'm trusting. I'm gullible.
You
I
have
like to feel like I'm a part of something.
See, these are all the things that I am not. You say a sense of community? Ugh.
Stay away from me.
Yeah.
You're gonna be alone in my
No,
house.
I don't have any problem. I think a sense of community is a good thing. But I don't know why you think. Why do you think you would be more susceptible to something like that just because you had free time?
Because
You wouldn't fill it up with painting or learning photography or reading books.
it's not
You
as
go, nope,
accessible.
I would just be online
I'm
all
not
day
saying
long.
that's what I would do, but if it were to come to that,
I would go headfirst into the cesspool 24/7.
because I think it would start off as like, oh, I'm gonna just laugh at these people, and then I'd start to
Well,
believe
that
the things that
also-
they laugh at.
Goes to show the difference. Like, you kind of dive into some, like, for someone
I
that's
hyperfixate.
You hyperfixate, and also on things that, for being the most positive one on the show, on very negative things.
Yeah.
But why wouldn't you hyperfixate on things that aren't crazy?
Because that's what
People aren't. There aren't lizard people eating babies in pizza shop basements that have no basement.
Here's my conspiracy theory.
JFK ain't coming back.
Here's my conspiracy theory. I think a lot of these people get sucked in because they want to make fun of it. Or they want to be like, these people are out of their minds.
No.
Let me look and see what they think. And they go into it skeptical. And then they start to kind of see it one thing at a time. One leads to another, and then they're in it.
Every time they talk to these people who came out the other side, right? People who, by their own admission, will sit there and go, I cannot believe this happened to me. I cannot believe I fell into this. They all say the same thing, and it had nothing to do with them. I started out laughing at these people.
Like you watch a
They
documentary
were
to
bored.
make fun of them.
They were all bored. They were
what I'm
like,
saying.
well, the pandemic, and I was home, and I had kids, and I was by myself. I'm like, who's watching the kids?
Each other.
While you're on Facebook all day long.
Well, that's like people that will just
scary.
continue to... They use social media as a way to just continually get attention in a way that is negative most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
They know if they keep saying this, there's a video that I posted of Poundcake saying knowledge is brainwashing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, and there's this one guy, I had to block him because people kept replying to him saying, this is not brainwashing. You don't understand what brainwashing is. And he's like, but what about this? Well, what about this? And like, you're not looking at the definition of brainwashing and understanding it. But he didn't care what anybody had to say. He just wanted to...
Controversy.
just
rile
to
people up.
chose
rile
violence.
people up, and so I'm like, block this dude.
Or the interaction.
And that's a guy that I could see being into QAnon because he's just thinking, I just want to see people react, not in a negative way, because it just keeps building and it gets you into the algorithm more if you are negative. And so then it makes him feel like he has some sense of power. And there's a lot of people in QAnon that feel that way.
I guess.
And then there's also the people that just go, I can take advantage and sell people all sorts of T-shirts and garbage because they buy into this stuff.
It's all grifting and it's all. But Alex Jones is over.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Turn the friggin' frogs gay.